In this video, I am going to guide you step by step on how to set up your Visual Studio Code for C++ projects in this way. For Linux, it's pretty simple. You just have to type these two commands. If you run these two commands and if everything is installed correctly, just type this command to check if your compiler is installed. If it's not installed, it will just give an error. To install C++ compiler in Windows, I'm going to follow the official VS Code documentation. Go to your browser and then Visual Studio Code website. Go to the docs section and in the C++ GCC on Windows. Here you will get all the tutorial on how to set up your main.cpp. This video also guides you and tells you everything you have to do, but I'm just going to show you how to do that as well. Click on this link and this will install this mysys2 an exe. I have already done that before, so I'm going to cancel that. You will get this application, just run it and it will open this setup. Click next and then install anywhere you like. I have already installed in C, so I'm just going to change its directory for now. Just going to make a new temp folder and then select this. Click next and just set it to default. Next, and this will install everything and it will open up a terminal for you. After the setup is done, click finish and it will run this terminal over here. Go to the website and copy this command. Go to the terminal, right click, paste. You have to run this command and it will do everything. Just press enter to set default and then just press Y. Now this will install every single compiler and everything you need. You have to wait a little bit and do remember that sometimes it might not install the compiler. So in that case, just go to where you have installed everything, delete that and redo the setup process, and I hope it works then, because for me I had to reinstall it once. First time it did not install everything, and yes, it does take some time, so be patient. After you have done installing everything, if you have set everything to default like this, you can just copy this path, go to the environment variables, go to the path of system variables and add a new path and paste it over here. I have already done that, so I'm going to delete that, press OK, and everything is done. To check if everything is installed correctly, just copy this command, go to your command prompt and just run this command. If you see everything like this, it means that you have installed it all correctly. And now we can move on to the VS Code section. After installing everything, we're going to open up our Visual Studio Code and then we are going to open up a new folder. I'm going to open this folder I have already created, and this will open a workspace for us and we're going to work inside it. So make a new file, let's say main.cpp, add your simple code over here. Now run it. To make sure that you run it with the G++ and not the GCC. GCC is for the C files, and if we run through the GCC, we're going to get an error. So click on the G++. To ignore that, it's a bit different thing. And if everything runs correctly, we're going to get a .vscode file and a main.exe. So we're going to change how everything works here. We're going to make multiple directories for everything. So one is output. I'm going to drag it outside, not inside the VS Code. We have the output for the exe files, and then we have include folders for our header files and a source folder. I'm going to drag that outside. Okay, so it's on you if you want to put the main.cpp inside the source, but it's a bit different. You can configure that yourself. Just keep watching and I will tell you how to do that. I can remove this main.exe for now. Okay, first thing we have to set up is change the directory of our main.exe, so it just goes inside the output folder. Here you can see in the task.json, this is the path of our main.exe, like the executable you're going to generate. We're going to save that inside the workspace folder, and inside the workspace folder, inside the output folder. Now if we run this, you can see we have got the main.exe inside the output folder. Sweet. Now we have to add our header files. Let's just say example.hpp. This is C++ style header file. Don't be confused for that. Let's just add some sample code, like just say void print cout example function. Okay, now if we try to run it, like if we include it, example.hpp, and then say print, you can already see we are getting error. It says include errors detected, and we do need to update our include path. Okay, go to the view, command palette, and see C++ edit configuration JSON. Click on that. We will get a CPP properties JSON inside the VS Code, and here we can see the include path. We are going to give the path of our include folder here. It's inside the workspace folder, and it's the include folder. Okay, now if we still run it, let's just try. It still gives error. It says it cannot find the HPP file. We do need to do one more thing. Go to the task.json, and here say -i means include this. We're going to give the path of our include folder. We can just copy that from here, paste that, and then if we save that and run it again, it runs everything correctly and we get our example function. But let's just say what everything else is here. So -g is just take it as what it should compile, like it's our a path of the main file, which has the main function, like this main.cpp. We can give it a separate path because we might put it inside the source file. It might run sometimes, might not run. It depends though. But if there are a lot more files, we have to specify everything. But I usually put it inside the main directory and not inside the source folder. But let's just say we want to add an implementation file to our example.hpp file. I'm just going to copy that and just put void print here. So we do include it inside our exam main file, but it does not have any implementation. If I add the implementation file inside the source file, like the example.cpp, and I include, let's just say I include everything here, and I include the example.hpp file. Now this is our implementation file. If we run it that, you can say it does give an error that it has undefined reference to print. So we go to the task.json again. Now we have so we do include our header files, but we do have to include all of the implementation files as well in the include path. So here we're going to copy that again, and this time give the source folder like the src, and then dash dot .cpp. It says include all the cpp files inside it. Now it runs everything correctly. We can see we have gotten that. So we have gotten our output inside correct directory, we have got a separate path for our example.hpp, and for source or implementation files we have a separate directory. But for the main file, you can go to task, and here this dash g, this represents the path of our main.cpp file. We can specify it even more, like we can just say workspace folder slash main.cpp. You can just specify the file name and its extension. It works if it's correct. If we run it again, it runs everything correctly and we have everything here. We can change the name of this main.exe file as well, like just say the workspace folder or anything you like. .exe. It's um what happened? Did I say everything correctly though? This is the workspace folder base name over here, not the workspace folder. That's the path. Now it should work everything correctly though. See the vsc tutorial.exe, which is the name of our the workspace. So this is how you set up all of your projects inside VS Code with multiple directories in C++. Thank you for watching.